Thank you. Good evening and welcome to Unspun Inside the CNC3 News. I'm your host, Mark Besant. Often branded as spin doctors, journalists are sometimes accused of twisting the facts. We want to guarantee you that we'll unspin that theory. We're digging deep to bring you investigative and special reports and to always ensure it's all factual. Over the last 7 years, several media reports spoke about Trinidadians being at the forefront of ISIS and heading to Syria. Some of the men made the journey alone, while others would often take their wives and their children. Tonight, for the first time on television, a woman recounts her life experience after spending time in Syria for almost 2 years at what was once described as a stronghold of ISIS then. Most who have spoken in the past wanted to conceal their identity, but not Tanya Peters, who tells us about a life she never chose. This is part 1 of Surviving ISIS.
I just don't want to be in that place. It's horrible. Bombs dropping every day. I can't do nothing for my children.
A harrowing life experience for Tanya Peters, who survived the horror of life in Syria when ISIS ruled. Back 6 years now, Peters, in her first ever exclusive television interview, recounted how she was duped into going there. In 2014, after marrying her husband Nur Abdul Muhammad, he promised her and a 6-year-old daughter a dream vacation. It turned out to be a long nightmare for Tanya.
I got married and my husband was a footballer. Told me get a contract to play football in Turkey. And he took me to Syria after. So it was like a honeymoon. So we had stayed in like 5-star hotels, so it was like a fun time going there.
To arrive in Turkey, she explained they flew to Guyana, onward to Brazil, and then boarded a Turkish Airlines flight. Then, one day, while out on an outing in Turkey, everything changed.
In Turkey, Gaziantep is border to Syria. And it's like you jump in a taxi here and you take it to City Gate. So, and you cross the street and welcome to Syria. It's like we was going shopping that day. But normally he will walk with always walk with his suitcases, bags. I never really hold my passport on the journey going. Never question it. And then a day we went shopping, but every day we going shopping, he will always walk with his bags. And we went take a taxi and welcome to Syria.
Initially, when they crossed into Syria, Tanya didn't question her husband's judgment.
I didn't know anything about Syria. All I know about is the contract in Turkey to play football. Because he went to Turkey already and played football. He used to travel, he was playing football. So I never questioned anything.
It was at the border she and her young daughter were separated from her husband.
When we went into Syria, the bus, women don't be with men. So he went with, and we went with the ladies, and I never see him 30 days. So apparently he went straight on train. We didn't get our suitcase, so we had no clothes. We was in like a camp for 30 days. Every morning you have to line up for water, so if you miss, you don't have water. The food, different culture, so it will be like mincemeat, no seasoning, like just parsley, potatoes, eggs. So every day is that you have to cook it. Sometimes rice, no bread cubes. It was just horrible. And then you have to fight for everything. Because everybody touching is like about 10 women in this room and the beds on the ground. So the touching, mess. So it's everything you have to fight for. Like I went with some jewelry, I lost all. And then the Russian people, like apparently they hate black people, so they always have a problem with it.
After enjoying a month at that camp, her husband came for her. They went to another camp in Raqqa, a stronghold of ISIS at that time.
I spent about 3 weeks there. Well, he went on train, so he got paid. When I talked to him about the place, you become an enemy, because once you disagree, you're against.
Because you're infidel.
Yeah, and apparently they done brainwash him because he went and trained first. So it's like, watch your wives. If they're talking against the place, you don't know who they meet and influence them to be a spy, because they don't know who is spies, everybody amongst everybody. So it was always an issue with us because I never wanted to stay there. Bombs falling, sometimes you're walking in the street to make sure the plane not facing any direction in because they're shooting bombs. And it's just about, you meet 5 people, 2 days after you hear 3 die. So it's just survival. You can't do anything more than pray.
In the face of adversity in early 2015, after bearing a son in Syria, Peters was desperate to see the back of Syria.
Every day I would tell him I want to go home. And I would cause an issue. And then he put me in court. We have a Sharia court there, and you have to listen to your husband. Otherwise you could get like strokes. And I was against, and I got locked up again. They almost take my son away from me. And I get a call, and I call my family, and my sister said, start to listen. So I look, all right. And then we had to go back to court, and they say, if I'm not listening, you have things you could do to be a Muslim, and things you could say to show you out of Islam. And I sung like, I'm not a Muslim, and why I want to go home, and why I'm not listening to my husband. And if I'm not listening, they could cut off my neck. And from that day, I started listening.
After the birth of her son in 2015, Tanya said her husband would come and go as he fought far away on the battlefield, but he wasn't the man she had married.
The battlefield is far, far away, so you know they will go for like a month, 2 months, and I never asked him, but you will see them very traumatized, you know, like jumping out of the sleep, and then they get more aggressive. You can't talk anything contrary towards ISIS. You can't even tell them you don't like the place. Because you know, they're so brainwashed. You couldn't trust anybody. Because if you speak with anybody and they go back, they have you down as a spy.
Peters listened to her family's advice and began to play the obedience game. What made you just start to kind of comply?
I wanted to escape. So if don't comply, I will be locked up, and I can't leave if I'm locked up. So I started to comply so I could be free and get to leave. Join us again on Thursday night when Tanya not only recounts her escape, but the horrors of life at the refugee camp and how she has adjusted to life since returning home.